Some boxes don't just hold things, some hold silent lives, unanswered questions, and truths that one wishes to forget. That morning, Evelyn Monroe went up to the attic looking for nothing more. But what she found was right in the middle of a secret that no one had touched for 40 years. Evelyn was 72 years old. After her husband's death, she had started living alone in the big house. There were rooms she hadn't touched in years, but that morning she suddenly felt the urge to go up to the attic. Maybe I could donate the old things, she thought. Maybe cleaning things would clean the inside as well. She slowly climbed the dusty stairs. The attic was silent, as if the voices of people who had once lived had permeated the walls. Chests, shelves, mirrors wrapped in blankets. All were witnesses of time. Evelyn opened the lid of a chest. Old dresses, lace tablecloths, a few black and white photographs. Then in the bottom corner of the chest, she noticed a heavy metal box. The top of the box was rusted. There was no name or description on it, but the lock was in place. It was solid. Evelyn hadn't seen this box in years. She bent down and picked it up. When her fingers touched the lock, a strange shiver ran through her. It was as if the box knew her, as if it was waiting. Dear viewer, have you ever felt like an object was watching you? Even though it didn't make a sound, it said, "I am here." Write in the comments and subscribe, because this story will tell more than just a silent box. Evelyn lowered the box down. She turned on the old table lamp in the living room, put on her glasses, and examined the lock with a sigh. There was no key, but the old lock looked like it could be opened with a little effort. When she returned from the kitchen with a screwdriver, curiosity made her heart race. When the box finally opened, the first thing inside was an envelope. The envelope was yellow, and it read a name: Harper D. Lanes. The day it should not be opened will be opened. Harper. This name was not unfamiliar to Evelyn, her best friend from high school. But Harper had gone missing in 1983. She had never been found. Her case was still an unsolved disappearance, a cold case. Evelyn's heart sank. This box was about Harper, and it was in her house. Other things in the box included an old diary, an audio tape, and a black and white photograph. 4 people were smiling in the photo. Evelyn recognized Harper immediately, but the other 2 were a little blurrier. The 4th person was a young man standing at the edge of the photo, his face indistinct. Written in pencil on the back was this: July 13th. It started that night. Evelyn put her head in her hands, because that was the night Harper disappeared. She hadn't thought about this for years. The town had been shaken by Harper's disappearance. Everyone had been questioned that summer, even Evelyn, but nothing was found. And as the years passed, Harper was forgotten. The file was put on dusty shelves. But now Harper's name was echoing again in her own home, in an old box, and this time it was too vivid to be silenced. Dear viewer, sometimes the deepest secrets are hidden in the chest closest to us, but the responsibility belongs to the one who opens that box. What about you? Have you ever had a box in the past that you didn't want to open? Time doesn't just move forward, it sometimes calls back. Evelyn Monroe understood this when she sat down in her chair with Harper's diary in her hand. With the envelope, photo, and tape in the box, she was no longer just a widow, but a witness to the past. Her fingers trembled as she opened the diary. The pages were yellowed, the edges worn. Harper's handwriting was still clear, slanted, hurried, but sincere. The first page began, "If these pages are ever opened, then I need not fear." Evelyn took a deep breath, because she had begun to resurface not only Harper's disappearance, but everything that had been buried together. The diary lines began with ordinary, everyday events: school days, summer vacation plans, secret admiration. But then there was a note from July 12th. "He is watching me. I can feel it. Every time I turn around, it's like he is there. But no one believes me, not even Evelyn. What if I feel wrong?" Evelyn's eyes stopped on this sentence, because that summer, Harper had started to act strangely. She would always say that one should be careful. "Things are not as they seem," she would say. But Evelyn attributed this to youth, to drama. "I wish I had listened to you more," she whispered now, 40 years later. As the diary progressed, the lines grew darker. The sentences written for July 13th were like a farewell. "If I don't come back tonight, I want Evelyn to find this box. I've always loved her, but I don't trust her, because she talked to him." Evelyn's breath caught. She talked to him. Who was it? She immediately remembered the tape that came out of the box. She found the old tape recorder in the basement. She put the tape in. Harper's voice was heard in a crackling voice, thin, fearful, but determined. "If this audio recording is being played, then I no longer exist. Tell him it's not because of him." But he knew, and he kept quiet. "If you find this box, give it to Evelyn, but don't blame her. She was just scared." Tears welled up in Evelyn's eyes. What did that mean? Harper was saying Evelyn kept quiet, but what? That summer, it wasn't just Harper. Other things had disappeared in the town. The disappearance of 2 dogs, the abandoned barn on fire, the screams heard at night. But they were all dismissed as youth pranks. Now it all came together in Evelyn's mind, and there was one name at the center, Charles Whitman, Evelyn's lover that summer, and someone Harper was clearly afraid of. Dear viewer, have you ever wanted to believe that someone was innocent? Did you suppress the fear that came to you just because they were one of your loved ones? But what if they were really to be feared? Write in the comments. Because Evelyn was now confronting not only the past, but also the silences of her own memory. She went to the local courthouse in town. She requested Harper's missing persons file. The woman on duty wearing glasses asked as she handed over the file, "Are you a witness?" Evelyn swallowed. Number. But maybe I should be now. The file was yellow. It contained a few photographs, police notes, and incomplete statements. But the most interesting part, Evelyn's statement. "The last time I saw Harper was at the park on July 13th at 9:30 p.m. She was alone." Evelyn looked at the file. That wasn't true, because Harper wasn't alone that night. Charles Whitman was there too, and Evelyn hadn't told anyone this in 40 years. Evelyn covered her face with her hands. "I kept quiet," she said to herself, "because I believed him, but I wanted to believe Charles." And now Harper's box was breaking that silence. She turned the last page of the diary, the date, July 13th. "If I don't come back tonight, don't let Evelyn find me. It's not her fault. But what she must remember is what Charles told me." Evelyn picked up the pen. She went and wrote down Charles's house. He was still in town. He was known as an old widow, a man who didn't talk. But Evelyn wanted to talk now, because this story wasn't just Harper's, it was hers too, and no box could silence the voice of this truth anymore.